Covered. I got it at the library, and I think it's on YouTube.
Gertrude. 557. Okay, let's see.
Bravo! Applause.
Songs.
Okay. Everybody's got a script?
Yeah.
Everybody's got their parts?
No.
I haven't put any trouble.
You need David, you need the internet access thing, or do you?
No,
I downloaded it at home.
Oh, I forgot.
I have Laertes and Guildenstern.
Oh,
Unless you want to. It's all right.
Una has plenty, thank
All
you.
right.
Una has more than enough. Thought it wasn't on the right.
Okay. Okay. Don't forget who you are. Okay. I have a.
Scribbled on the thing.
If nobody talks, then just start talking.
Just scribble on the thing. Read that. Who else we missing? David C. So we covered them, huh? Does everybody want me to do roll call? I'll do roll call. Not necessary? Don't necessary. Okay.
I copied it from the stuff on,
Just saying.
on
Just saying.
we should have it down by now. Oh.
One. A room in Polonius' house. Enter Polonius and they knock.
Give him this money and these notes, Ronaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him, to make inquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Very well said, very well said. Look you, sir, inquire of me first what danksters are in Paris, and how, and who, and what means, and where they keep, what company, at what expense, and finding by this encompassment and drift of question that they do know myself, come you more nearer than your particular demands will touch it. Take you as 'twere some distant knowledge of him, and thus know his father and his friends, and impart him. Do you think this, Ronaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And in part of him, but you may say, not well. But if he and I mean he's very wild, addicted so and so, and there put on him what forages you please, Mary, none so rank as may dishonor him, take heed of that. But sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips are as our companions noted, and most known to youth and liberty.
As gaming, my lord?
Though yet of Hamlet our dear brother's death.
Hello. Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, traveling. You may go so far.
My lord, that you would dishonor him.
Faith, no, as you may season. Hello. As you may season.
Pay no attention to that man.
The ghost is still arriving.
Swear it. Swear. Stop him. Faith, no, as you may season it in the charge. You may not put another scandal on him, that he is so open to inconstancy. That's not my meaning. But breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind, of savageness in unreclaimed blood of general assault.
But, my lord,
Wherefore should you do this?
my lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here's my drift, and I believe it is fetch of warrant you laying these slight sullies on my son, as 'twere a thing a little soiled in the working. Mark you, your party in converse, him you would sound, having ever seen in the predominant crimes the youth you breathe of guilty. Be assured he closes with you in his consequence. Good sir, or so, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase of the edition of Man and Country.
Oh, very good, my lord.
And then, sir, does this. What was I about to say? By the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At closes in consequence at friend or so, and gentleman.
At closes of consequence. Aye, Mary. He closes thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday or the other day, and then, with such or such, and as you say, well, there was a gaming there, or took in the roast, they're falling out at tennis, or perchance I saw him enter such a house of sale, vil delict a brothel, or so forth. See you now, your bait of falsehood. Take this carp of truth, and thus do we of wisdom and of reach, in windlasses and with essays of bias, by indirections find directions out. So, by my former lecture and advice, shall you, my son, have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God by ye, fare ye well.
Good, my lord.
Observe his inclination in yourself,
I shall, my lord.
and let him ply his music.
Well, my lord.
Farewell.
You want me to say one more line?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, Ophelia, what's the matter?
Alas, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my chamber, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings foul, ungartered and down to his ankle, Haos his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so hideous he put forth, as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors that comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist, and he held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, with his other hand as o'er his brow. He falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of my arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so hideous and profound, as if it seemed to shatter all his bulk and his end meaning. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their help, and to the last ended their life on.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is a very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foreknows itself, and lends the will to desperate undertakings, as oft any passions under heaven, and dost afflict our nature. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did withheld his letters and denied his access.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry with that better heed and judgment. I had not quoted him. I feared he did not but trifle, and meant to rack thee, but beshrew my jealousy. By heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions, as it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king, but this must be known. which, being kept close, might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Seeing two.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we have much did long to see you. The need we have to you and you did before parties descending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so-called? Is not the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was, but it should be more than his father's death, that thus have put him so much from the understanding of himself. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, and sith so neighbored to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion may glean, whether aught is to us unknown afflicts him thus, that the wind lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us much gentry and goodwill, as to expend your time with us a while, for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits the king's remembrance.
Your pink slips, folks.
Is that you, Jim? No?
I got enough to do, thank you.
David, did
Would
you
like-
get
Yeah.
Guildenstern?
Horatio, Ronaldo, and Gentleman.
Steve, did you get Road?
I got Voltamon, Bernardo, Fortinbras, Count, Ola,
Oh, I'll just.
Aaron Bill.
All right, here we go. Yeah, there.
Still on the table.
I get it. Because it was David checked out.
Right.
Cool.
That's fit the king's remembrance.
Both your majesties, my better sovereign power, you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, and to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit me too much change of sun. Go some of you, and bring these gentlemen to where Hamlet is. Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him. Aye, amen.
Oh, the ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good.
Have I, my lord? I assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else his brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that, do I long to hear.
Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit to that great feast.
Thyself do grace to them and bring them in. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and souls of all your sons to spend up.
I doubt it is no other but the maid, his father's death, and our own hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift it. Welcome, good friends. Say, Voltamon, what's from our brother Norway?
Most fair return.
Among greetings and desires, upon our first he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Pola. But better looked into is truly found it was against your highness, whereat grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrests on Fortinbras, which he in grief obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle Nevermore to give vassay of alms against your majesty, whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and is commissioned to employ those soldiers so levied as before against the Polak, with an entreaty herein further shown, that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well, and at our more considered time, well read. Answer and think upon this business. Meantime, we thank you for your wealth of labor. Go to your rest. At night we'll feast together. Most welcome home.
This business is well ended, my liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, what day is, night, and time is time. We were nothing but to waste night, day, time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, call I it. For to define true madness, what 'tis it but to be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he's mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. A foolish figure. But farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say, the cause of this defect. For this effect, defective, comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus pretend I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience mark, hath given me this. Now, gather, surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear it thus. In her excellent white bosom, these...
Hey, this from Hamlet to her.
Good madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Double the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon any groans, but I have loved thee best. Oh, most best, believe it, adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above this solicitings, they fell out of by time, by means, and place, all given to mine ear.
But how hath she received his?
What do you think of me?
As a man of faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so, but what might you think? When I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived it, I must tell you that, before my daughter told me, that might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, think if I had played the desk or table book, or given my heart a twinkling, mute and dumb, or looked upon his love with idle sight, what might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. And then I prescripts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, She took the fruit of my advice, and he replied, repelled a short tale to make, fell into sadness, then into a fast, hence to a watch, hence into a weakness, hence into a lightness, and by his declension into the madness wherein he now raves. And all we mourn for. Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very much.
If there have been such a time, I would fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise.
Not that I know.
Take this from this. If this be otherwise, if circumstances led me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center.
Oh, may we try it first?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such time, I will loose my daughter to him. Be you and I beyond an arras then. Mark the encounter. If he loves her not, then be not from his reason fallen thereon. Let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and carters.
We'll try it.
But look, where's sadly the poor wretch from Sweden?
Away, I do beseech you both, away. I'll brought him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Oh, excellent. Well, you're a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
I should. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breeds maggots in a dead dog, being a god-kissing carrion, if you a daughter,
I have, my lord.
let her not walk I the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. I said I was a fishmonger. I was gone, far gone, and truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love. Very near this. I speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words, words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean, the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir. For the satirical slave says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams, all which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honestly to have it thus set down. For you yourself, sir, should be old as I am, if like a crab you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you not walk out of my air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that's out of the air. How pregnant sometimes he replies are, a happiness that often madness hits on. What reason and sanity could not be so preposterously be delivered of? I will leave him and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My lord, I will take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with withal, except my life, except my life, except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is. God save you, sir.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz, good lads, how do you both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the souls of the shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist or in the middle of her fingers.
Her private suite.
Oh, it is the secret part of fortune. Oh, most true, she is a strumpet. What's the news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Oh, then it's doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then the world won.
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst.
Oh, we think not so, my lord.
Why then, 'tis not to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is prison.
Why then your ambition makes it one. Too narrow for your mind.
Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell, and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitions to do in the shadow of the dream.
The dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly. And I hold ambition so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow.
Then our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched heroes, the beggars' shadows. Shall we to the court? For by my fay I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I will not sort with you. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants. For to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the in-between way of friendship, what makes you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, speak. May speak.
What shall we say, my lord?
Why, anything. But to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks, which your modesties have no craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen has sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the constancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-present love, and by what more dear a better proposer could change you withal, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
Say you.
Oh, not us.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipating prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my memory. Forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition, that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestiful roof fretted with gold and fire, why, it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not?
Think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you? We courted them on the way, and hither they are coming to offer you service.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute of me. The adventurous knight shall use his foil and target. The lover shall not sky gratis. The humorous man shall end his part in peace. The clown shall make those laugh whose hugs are tickles of the share, and the lady shall say her mind freely. or the blank verse shall halt for it. What players are they?
Even those you want to take such delight in, the tragedians of the city.
How chanced if they travel? Their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways.
I think their inhibition comes by the means of the late innovation.
Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed?
No, indeed, they are not.
How comes it they grow rusty?
Their endeavor keeps in the wanted pace. But there is, sir, an eyrie of children, little eyases that cry on the top of the question and are most tyrannically clapped for it. These are now the fashion, and so berated the common stages, so they call them. And many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills, and do scarce come thither.
What? Are they children? Who maintains them? How are they escaped? Will they pursue the quality no longer than they can sing? Will they not say afterward that they should grow themselves to common players, as it is most like if their means are no better? Their writers do them wrong to make them exclaim against their own succession?
Faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it no sin to tarry them to controversy. There was, for a while, no money bid for argument, unless the poet and the player went to cuffs in the question.
Is it possible?
Oh, there has been much throwing about of brains.
Do the boys carry it away?
Aye, that they do, my lord. Hercules and his load too.
It is not very strange, for my uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make mouth at him while my father lived give 20, 40, 50, 100 ducats a piece for his picture in little blood. There's something in this more than natural if philosophy could find it out.
There are players.
Come to Elsinore. Your hands come. The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb. Lest my extent to the players, which I tell you, must show fairly outward, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome. My uncle, father, and aunt, mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Will be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too. At each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouts.
Happily, he is the second time come them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it. You say right, sir, or Monday morning 'twas so indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. Cis was an actor in Rome.
The actors are come hither, my lord. Upon my honor,
Then came each actor on his ass.
the best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comedical, historical, tragical, comedical, historical, pastoral, scene indivisible, or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light. For the law of writ and the liberty, these are the only men that lend. Sorry.
Jeff, the judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou.
What a treasure had he, my lord.
Why, one fair daughter and no more, the which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not either right, O Jephthah?
If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
That follows then, my lord.
Why, as by lot, God wot. And then, it came to pass as most likes it was, the first row of the pious chants, and will show you more, for looks where my abridgment comes. You're welcome, masters, welcome all. I'm glad to see thee. Well, welcome, good friends. Oh, my old friend, thy face is balanced since I saw thee last. Come, thou to beard me in Denmark? What, my young lady and mistress, my lady, your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last. By the altitude of a trapine, pray God, your voice like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. Well, and talk like French, and falconers fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech. Straight, come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once. For the play I remember pleased me the millions. 'Twas caviar to the general, but it were as I received it, and others whose judgment in such matters pride in the top of mine, an excellent play, well digested in the scenes, set down with as much modesty and cunning. I remember one said there were no sallets in the lines to make the matter savory, nor no matter in the phrase that might indict the author of affection, but called it an honest method, as wholesome, as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to the idol, and therefore thereabout of it, especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it lives in your memory, begin it at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyscarian beast, it is not so. It begins, no, it's not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arm, black as purpose, did the night resemble, where he lay couched in the ominous horse. I pray, anon he finds him, striking too short, is that right? Hath now this red and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal, head to foot. Now is to be total clothes, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and pasted with the parching streets that lend tyrannous and a damned light to their vile murders, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'er sighs with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the Hellas Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks. So proceed you.
For God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks, his antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls. Repugnant to command, unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Pyrrhon drives, in rage strikes wide, and with the whiff and wind of his thou sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilion, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top, stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. Though his sword, which was declining in the silence that happens. The rack stands still, the bold wind speechless, and the orb below as hushed as death. On the dreadful thunder doth rend this region, so after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work. Never did the Cyclops' hammer fall on Mars' armor forged for perfect in turn, with less remorse than there's Pyramus' bleeding sword. Now falls on Priam. Out! Now strumpet fortune, all you gods in general synod, take away her power, break all the spoken and the follies of her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven as low as to the themes.
This is too long.
Whoa, you shelter the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig or a tail of bog, or he sleeps. Say on, come, the Hercuba.
But who had seen the Moblid Queen?
Oh, great.
That's good. Moblid Queen is good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bosoms room, a clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and o'er-teamed loins, a blanket in the alarm. Here, Autumn, who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced, but as if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs. The instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, who would have made milch the burning hive of heaven, and passion in the gods?
Look, where he has not turned his color, and he has tears in his eyes. Pity no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest of this soon. My lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
Odd bod command better. Use every man after his desert, and who should escape with it. Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Following friends, we'll hear it play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, O friend? Can you play the murder of Johnson?
Aye, my lord.
Well, tomorrow night, you could for a need study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I should set down and serve you. Could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till tonight. You are welcome to elsewhere.
Goodbye, Lord.
I so goodbye with you. Now I am alone. But what a rogue and peasant slave am I? Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his vision wane, tears in his eyes, distraction in aspect, a broken voice into his whole function suiting with form to his conceit, and all for nothing? For Hercuba? What's Hercuba to him, or he to Hercuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metal rascal, peak like John a dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. I am a coward. Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie, the throat as deep to the lungs. Who does me this? Ha! Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am a pigeon liveried and lack gall to make a person bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with the slaves, awful, bloody body, villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless, villain, Oh, vengeance! Why, an ass I am. This is most brave that I, son of the dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore pack my heart with words, and fall cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fly upon it, both. About my brain I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father. Before mine uncle, I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick. If but blench, I'll know my course. The spirit I have seen may be the devil or the devilish. Devil have power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuse me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. And then take a break.
Ta-da!
Chuck wagon.
It's tearing apart.
Snacks are available. Back
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Working my way up. Heck you about it. Heck you about it.
This is too long.
At least you're consistent.
This is too long.
This is too long.
This is